So what's going on, people? My fault for the late start. Which most likely definitely gonna have to carry y'all up until kickoff. But today, yes, it's FAMU in Mississippi Valley. So as we all know, last week was a comeback for the ages. This week, I'm not really anticipating much of a comeback. To be honest, I think this will be more so of a runaway game. But honestly, too, the team can't look ahead, and we'll talk about it, of course, after the intro and everything. But I do think that this is another game where it's going to be another stepping stone, honestly, for FAMU. And I think, honestly, the team will be fine today. Honestly, if you're in Itabena and if you were able to find it, honestly, let me know how it is. What's it like? Honestly, so far, I've been hearing things that sound typical Mississippi, but honestly, yeah, I'm looking forward to today. I'm looking forward. There's still certain things I want to see this team do today, and we'll talk about that. But don't go anywhere. The intro's next. It's going to be a good one. Stay tuned. All right, awesome. So yeah, let's dive right into it. So yes, if you would like to comment, for those of you that are watching, um, please head on over to YouTube to leave a comment. For some reason, the comment section is disabled for some reason on Twitter when it comes to going live from different platforms and stuff. I don't know why. I'm not sure. But yes, feel free to leave a comment as we go through. I'm carrying y'all all the way until 4 o'clock. So as far as Mississippi Valley goes, last week, they fought, but they lost to 12-24 to Alcorn State. QB only completed 8 passes out of really 24 that he threw. The other interesting thing too is they were heavy on the run, 3 of 14 on third down, had 212 yards of total offense. 142 of that came on the ground, hence why it was a heavy run performance. They allowed 353 yards of total offense, and you look at that number, 145 through the air, 208 on the ground. It makes you wonder what a more highly touted offense can do, like FAMU today. So this is going to be an interesting one. As well, too, they averaged 3 yards a pass. That's not saying much coming from this passing attack that only threw 8 times for 70 yards. They have not played FAMU since 2013 as well. They didn't play FAMU often before that, and that is the truth. I believe they played one time in 1990. I think they only met once in the 90s, once in the 80s. They didn't even play in the 2000s, and now the two were playing here for the first time since 2013. So I believe it was like 87, 90, and now here we are today. They were held without a touchdown too against Alcorn, which honestly leaves me to think today could possibly be the day that we see the shutout streak reborn in a sense. So players to watch for Mississippi Valley: quarterback Jelani Eason, 8 of 24. as well to running back Caleb Johnson, 22 carries, 123 yards, which was very impressive. Wide receiver Datavius Porter, one reception, 29 yards. Wide receiver Malik Myers, two receptions, 24 yards. Linebacker Jaron Fox, number 46. I believe he's either a defensive end or a linebacker. 3 solo tackles, 11 assisted, 14 total. And then also T2 defensive back Markel Gladney, 5 solo, and then 7 assists, 12 total tackles. I'm not sure if this guy if that's the one that transferred from Jackson State. I'm not sure because I know one of Jackson State's defensive backs in the spring transferred to Mississippi Valley. And I'm not sure if that's the guy. I think that is the guy, though. So they do have a presence in their secondary. I'm not sure. But one man does not make a football team either. One man does not make a defense. One man can rally a defense, but that's the only dog you really got on defense, which I don't know. We'll see, but I don't know. So, how dangerous is Mississippi Valley? Honestly, I would say not really so dangerous. They have back-to-back wins against Bethune-Cookman and North Carolina Central. They are they a heavy running team? Yes, they are. If you looked at any of the stats or even saw that game last week, you know they want to run the football and they want to run it down your throat consistently, and they will constantly if for a team that will maybe start to find themselves in a hole pretty quickly today. I don't see them really abandoning the run much. I think that the run is in fact going to be their bread and butter today, and I think they're going to rely heavily on it. Will they attempt to get the passing game going? Again, when you find yourself in a hole, you start to pass more than you do run. So I think they're going to try to average about maybe 25 passes today, possibly. But I think that they will stick regardless of what happens because I really feel like they that's their bread and butter and they don't want to go away from it. I think they are going to stick heavily with the run. Should they be worried about the fact that they can get shut out today? Yeah, they should, because this is highly possible that you could pitch a shutout today. Now you could catch FAMU slacking, which is part of the next question. In what way could they catch FAMU off guard? It is homecoming next week. I haven't even mentioned it on anything really. The fact that homecoming is next week. So if there's ever a time for a team to really catch FAMU lackadaisical, which I don't think will happen today either, this is the week. You're catching them because when you left Tallahassee, you saw all the banners and stuff, and all the activities being posted everywhere and stuff. Like this is happening. This is happening. When you leave, you're thinking to yourself like this is going on. But I mean, in a COVID world as well too. Although I don't think that'll matter much since Florida's wide open. Things tend to pop out at you. But and this is where I trust the coaching staff, and I think, and honestly the players too, after what we've seen in these first 2 episodes of Why Not Us, where these players and this team and these coaches will take the right steps to not have any type of distractions get into that locker room. So I think they will be fine in that aspect. Now, how do they still manage to keep themselves in games? Quite honestly, I'll be real with you. You do what you do in football, you fight. The fact that they just stay in games and they just fight to the end says a lot about their character and their heart. So I would not expect anything less today. Although I am anticipating this to be very one-sided, I'm not going to give up on the fact that Mississippi Valley will come out fighting. They will. I'm highly anticipating that. Will they find the end zone against the nation's best defense? That's hard to tell. Because honestly, teams that are run heavy, and Mississippi Valley being run heavy and probably not wanting to get away from their bread and butter, which is running, will not find much running space because this is a very talented rush defense. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, this is one of the nation's best run defenses got gashed and gave up 31 points, or not even 31 points, gave up about 21 points. But I mean, look, Mississippi Valley's not Alabama A&M, and I'm just gonna say that. I'm gonna call it like it is. In Alabama A&M, they presented different looks against FAMU that FAMU had not seen, and FAMU was able to adapt quickly, and that's how FAMU won the game. So there's that argument. I don't see that happening with Mississippi Valley today. The other thing too now for FAMU, last week win a huge comeback win over Alabama A&M 35-31. It really should have been 42-31. They rallied from 28 to 10 against Alabama A&M. Honestly, according to the ESPN Football Power Index, they had Alabama A&M had a 92.8% chance of winning at one point in the third quarter, and then flip of a switch, that just went away. Rashawn McKay threw his first interception of the season last week. And quite honestly, I mean, look, I would honestly rather him throw it. You don't want to see interceptions, but you'd rather let him get it out of his system as soon as possible. Because I mean, look, when you play quarterback, that those things happen. It's going to happen. No quarterback. Joe Montana didn't do it. Tom Brady doesn't do it. Johnny Unitas doesn't do it, or didn't do it. God rest his soul. But no quarterback stays perfect. None. So it happens. It happens. Like that's just part of this game. Quarterbacks are going to throw interceptions from time to time. But the fact that you're 6 games in, by the 6th game you finally threw your first pick. Now that's impressive. That's very impressive. So I mean, kudos still. I mean, don't let it happen too often, but I mean, hey, can't do anything about it. We also witnessed Rashawn McKay grow up. He fought through adversity. He didn't fold. He stuck it out. He rallied the troops. He won the game. You saw him flex his arm. He has a very nice spiral. He has a very nice arm. And with every passing week, as I said 3 weeks ago, his confidence will get higher and higher. The belief of the coaches and the players around him will continue to get higher and higher as well. We saw a team that would not fold in the face of diversity. That's just the truth. They didn't fold. And honestly, I'm sure a lot of folks in Huntsville, Alabama were wondering too, why won't these guys just quit and go away? But, that's just the way things are in Tallahassee. You don't give up. You just keep pounding. And then it's your first year in a new conference. You're not going to go down. You're not going to, if you're going to really, if a lot of teams in the SWAC are going to beat FAMU this season, you better follow Jackson State's example, and you better try to take them into the fourth quarter and put the pressure on them. And right now, I don't see a lot of teams that are that good at putting pressure on FAMU. Not down this stretch. Maybe Bethune because of this winning streak that they have, but not too many teams that I see coming up are really going to be able to put the pressure on FAMU to force FAMU to make a play with 2 minutes left and run a serious 2-minute drill. I don't see it. Maybe Southern, because I don't trust the officials in that game because it's in Baton Rouge. Maybe. Also, too, the Rack Boys outperformed the Outlaws as I believed since July, and a lot of receivers in Huntsville, Alabama didn't believe, but that's fine. They called me a madman. It's okay. They played a hard-fought game, but still undisciplined. And I'm not sure who said it, but someone hopped in the comment section on YouTube and said that, they run gassers after every game for every penalty. And quite honestly, hey, that's one way to work out to run off the undisciplinary penalties. But at some point the light has to click to where, okay, guys, this can't happen anymore. Because against a good team, God willing, if you get in the FCS playoffs and you win out the regular season, that's going to hurt you if you get to the FCS playoffs. It really is. He had 11 penalties for 183 yards. Yeah, that definitely can't happen. So let's try to flip that narrative today and get on a winning streak. They outgained Alabama A&M 524 to 296 in total offense. The rushing attack averaged 7.4 yards per carry. Quite honestly, I'm looking at that, averaging 7.4 yards a carry. What does that mean? Every play, you're constantly always falling forward, and you're always lining up in a second and short or a third and short. So you're more often than not, you're moving the sticks. That's what that means. And as long as you keep continuing to do that, you have a chance to win football games. Good teams find ways to win football games. And that is where it starts. Falling forward, averaging seven or more yards a carry, 7 or more yards a carry. That's where it starts. Now, for the players to watch for today, Rashawn McKay, 21 of 34, 251 yards, 3 touchdowns last week. Those are the best numbers I've seen him put up all season long. I want to see more touchdowns. I hope they cut him loose today. Bishop Bonnet, 17 carries, 182 yards, 2 TDs. Terrell Jennings, 19 carries, 82 yards. Could have had 100-yard game, 1 touchdown. Chad Hunter, 5 receptions, 71 yards, 1 TD. Stepped up big time coming in off of an injury. And then with Xavier Smith not having his best day, it's good to know that like someone else can come in and just make plays like that. Also, too, defensive back Javon Morgan, game-sealing INT. General Hunt, 2 sacks in a key crucial moment. And the defensive end Savion Williams continues to impress. 3 solo tackles, 4 7 in total. So you love to see it. As well, too, here before kickoff. Will the offense continue to make big strides? I think the offense will. I think you're going to continue to see growth this week, because I think the offense really, when faced with adversity last week, you saw the offense pick things up and hit a stride. And you saw a bright flash of what can happen when this offense gets comfortable and doesn't realize, okay, it's time to just put the pedal to the metal and let this thing fly. Honestly, if they come out swinging with full confidence, look out. Because if the moment this offense catches up with this defense, that's a problem for everybody else down the stretch. That really is. So, and whoever FAMU's playing that week, you better pray to God you are not the team that FAMU gets hot against. Who knows? Mississippi Valley may be the unlucky team, because from what I saw towards the end there against Alabama A&M, FAMU was starting to catch a rhythm on offense, because it was coming. FAMU was ready for a shootout, and the defense the FAMU offense was ready for a shootout all day long with them. But it's just the FAMU defense closed the door at a key moment, as they rightfully should. Now, also, too, the other question is, will the FAMU defense pitch a shutout today? I think it's possible. I really do. I'm not seeing much that really intimidates you as much as it did last week from Mississippi Valley. If anything, I was rather disappointed with the amount of stats they had. Will we see Jeremiah Pruitt break out finally? I don't know, man. So far, we're still waiting to see Jeremiah Pruitt break out at tight end. He lines up in the slot a lot, like how the Bucs kind of do with Mike Evans sometimes. But I'm ready to see Jeremiah Pruitt break out. I know, like I said, the Alabama State game, they tried to work him into the game plan, and even against Jackson State, they tried to work him in. But the two, Rashawn McKay and Pruitt, just didn't connect. So I think soon it should come. You'd like to see it come, honestly, before homecoming. Why must they fix the discipline issues? As I stated earlier, fix the discipline issues, because honestly, that can come back to haunt you in a close game. It really can. And you don't want to go to the FCS playoffs, God willing, if you get in. You don't want that to come back and haunt you, and that be the reason you lose a close game against teams in the FCS playoffs. Because honestly, at that point, it's win or go home. And a lot of those teams in the FCS playoffs are not going to make those mistakes. So you have to be a very much more disciplined team. 11 penalties for 183 yards ain't going to cut it, and you have to stop it today. How long until we see Jalen McLeod return? Honestly, hopefully we see him return soon. Hopefully, I'm hoping so, because then you add a 3-headed monster. You had a three-headed monster with Bishop on it, and then Terrell Jennings and Jalen McLeod all to the mix. Who's going to want to tackle all those guys? You're letting Terrell Jennings batter and bruise you, and Jalen McLeod start battering and bruising you in the holes and in the gaps and the A and B gaps. And then all of a sudden you cut Bishop Bonnet loose after you've been battered and bruised, and Bishop Bonnet's going for 70 yards. So pick your poison. So when Jalen McLeod comes back, if he comes back today, look out. How long until the special teams breaks a punt or kick return touchdown? You might see it today. You honestly might. When or what did we learn from episode 2 of the Why Not Us documentary? And this will be the last question before I give the keys to the game and the score prediction, and I turn this off and y'all stop listening to me and y'all can watch the game in peace. As far as what we learned, honestly, a couple of things I noticed. Willie Simmons likes sushi, which is honestly weird enough because I can't get into sushi myself. I'm sure like a lot of you probably don't like raw fish. You like your fish cooked. So I mean, there's that, which was pretty interesting and kind of funny. The other thing too is you've seen a lot of growth with this team from the Orange Blossom Classic to now, and you've seen more of a togetherness. You've seen the players start to get comfortable with each other. I think honestly, week 1, from what you kind of saw in Why Not Us, it was obvious not playing for 600 plus days played a role. But now, you see these guys kind of being like, okay, we've gotten that whole new to a new football season, a new conference thing out of our system. Let's rock and roll. You see a team that's hungry. And I think honestly in practice and I'm curious, this is why I'm curious to see episode 3, Willie Simmons is harping on the details. So with that, it is 4:00. So let me go ahead and deliver the keys to victory. So as far as keys to victory goes, honestly, don't look ahead to next week. Play your game, establish the run, set up the pass. Pretty simple. And then also, too, when you do set up the pass, let McKay sling it. And when you do that, honestly, I'm going to give my final score prediction. FAMU 45, Mississippi Valley 0. But I would not be surprised if FAMU does get 50 today. I wouldn't. But I'm anticipating a 45-0 type game today, Nita Bina. And with that, I think that's going to do it for me for this. Make sure you tune in after the game, too, so you can see. We'll be here reacting, of course, as always, like we did last week. What went right? What went wrong? What did you see? What did I see? Leave your comments, of course, on YouTube. Twitter's not working for some odd reason. But we will see you after the game. Stay blessed. Enjoy your college football Saturday. We'll talk to you later. And as always, go Rattlers.